Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be making a couple cards using a new cutting die set that I got from InLoveArts that I had to have. And I thought maybe I would just share that with you and show you a couple of ways that I'm going to use it, and hopefully my cards inspire you. So let's get started. The InLoveArts cutting die set that I'm using is called the split background cutting dies, and I guess you would call it geometric, but there was just something different about this that really caught my eye, and it's that, to me, one of the shapes actually looks like a house. Anyways, it comes with the die that cuts the outlines, and then it also comes with 6 additional dies to cut out the shapes that fit in those outlines. And today, I'm going to show you how to use it with and without those extra dies. I'm going to use my Creative Craft Products paper trimmer to cut this paper in half, so it's 6 inches since it's 12 by 12, and I love that there's this ridge here that just kind of stops it at 6 inches. It makes it easy, and so I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it at 4 inches, and I want that side, so I'm going to cut that side at 4 inches because that die is actually not, 4 1/4, so not a problem. I'm going to cut it 4 inches, and this is the piece that I'm going to be using to do my die cutting. And I've already cut my cardstock, so this was an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. I cut it in half down the middle, giving me 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to score that at 5.5 inches. And that is going to be my card base, and so it's a top folding card base. And then I'm going to use one of these pieces also for die cutting, and this one I'll save for something else. So as I said, there is more than one way to use this cutting die set, and for the way I'm showing you right now, I'm using the main piece to cut out the paper. And as you can see, it's kind of set up so that you can see all of the flowers in each of those pieces. And I'm just going to run that through my Cuttlebug, and then I'm going to save all of those pieces because I'm going to be piecing them back in. So once this is cut, I'm going to have all of these separate pieces, and I'm going to set them aside for right now because, whoops, okay, that one stuck a little bit. Okay, I'll take care of that here in a second. But next, I'm going to be using the same die to cut out the cardstock. Of course, once this is die cut, there's going to be all of those little pieces, and you can save them and not let them go to waste. You can either use them as scraps, or you can make another one of these and use some of those pieces in it. So don't throw them away. And anyways, let me get all these popped out and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just want to say this one more time. Don't throw out these pieces because you might use them in another card with the same die set, or you can use them for scraps for other projects. So don't let anything go to waste. So for this technique, you don't need to use the other dies. You've cut out these pieces, and now they are just going to be layered right back in. So you're creating a scene, which was the scene that was already on that paper, and it's just like it's being framed. So this is what it's going to look like. Almost, I want to say a stained glass look, but that's not really it either. But it's just piecing together the scene that was already on the paper. You can also do the same thing if it is just patterned paper all over and you just wanted to use all of that in here. So I'm going to go put this on my card base, and I'm going to be stamping a sentiment here and doing a couple of other things, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here is the first card. Finished. It was quick and easy, and that's why I wanted to share this one with you first. I added a few little flowers right there and a butterfly, and I stamped a sentiment right there that says faith, hope, and joy. And I just think that this is beautiful. And there really wasn't that much to it. You know, it was a great way to use some scrapbook paper that I normally wouldn't use for a card. And I love that these lines just kind of break it up a little bit. I just love that look. And so, like I said, that one is really easy. Now I'm going to show you how to use the rest of the die pieces. For the second card, I am going to be using Recollections foil cardstock from Michaels for the outline part, but I'm not going to make you watch me cut that out. So I wanted you to see that the die cut is not 4 1/4 inches across. It's just probably just a tad under 4. And so I wanted you to see what it would look like if you put it on an A2 size card base without trimming your card base down. And honestly, it's not a bad look, but I'm not sure that that is the look I'm going for. We'll decide. If I put it together and I don't like it, I can always trim those edges right off. Next, I'm going to be using some scraps from my Prima Marketing Rose Quartz paper pad, and I have tons of scraps, and they're perfect for die cutting with all of these little pieces that go with this die set. And that's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this die cutting. It's really time consuming, and I'll probably be taking the time to go, that doesn't look good on there. I'll have to find another spot. Maybe it looks better this direction. And I'm not going to take you through all of that. But this is the perfect way to use up your scraps. And, you know, if you wanted, you could do it all with the same pattern paper for the entire thing, or just a couple of different patterns, totally up to you. And that's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to, sit here and go through my scraps and decide which ones I think will look best in, which die cut and how I'm going to do it. And for this bigger piece right here, I'm actually going to be using the 3x4 note cards that match the paper pad that I'm using. And I think I'm going to be using this. Let me see if I can get the light to not be so bright on it. There we go. I'm going to be using that, and it just so happens that it works out beautifully. So I think that's what I'm going to be using, but I will come back when I've got these all cut out. Well, it's a good thing that I didn't have the camera on while I took my sweet time positioning each of the dies on the papers right where I wanted them to make sure it looked the way I wanted, because that isn't the only problem. As you can see, the card base is now black. And that's because once I started laying these pieces on, I hadn't glued them on yet, but I was laying everything on, I realized that the pink matched some of these things, but not others. So I wasn't happy with that, so bye-bye pink. Then I grabbed my pink glitter paper from Cat Scrappiness, and I thought that is gonna look really pretty. And I kind of liked it. But then I grabbed a piece of black, which I was hesitant to do because this piece is black. But you know what? When I ended up laying the pieces against that, it was so beautiful. So black it is. And if you're wondering, because I didn't tell you last time either, I always have this on before I show you, I put that outline piece on with my Zig two-way glue pen. And if you have a fine tip glue bottle, that would work great, but my Zig glue-away pen works really great for that as well. And so that is what I used. And now it's time to start putting all of these pieces in. So give me a minute. Okay, I just wanted to grab my craft mat and my Beacon three-way glue, and it is time to start putting these pieces in. And so one of the things that you're going to notice is that it leaves a border this way. When I did the other card, there was no border other than the outline die. But as you see when I put this in, that there will be a black border around it, which is why it was so important that I get the right card base. And of course, you don't have to use the background layer as a card base. You can put that right on top of a card. But I just wanted you to see how it leaves that border. And I know the light gets so bright. If I get good lighting, then it washes out the images. But don't worry, you'll see pictures here in a bit. But I just wanted you to see that this is going to leave a border unlike the other card that did not. And so it's a different look. So it's just a different way for you to use this die set. And that's what I wanted you to see, is that there is more than one way to use it. And let me grab that really quick. Okay, so I'll bring this over so you can see that there is no border other than the outline die, whereas this one, there is a border. So it just depends on the look that you're going for. And, you know, I'm doing girly cards here, but keep in mind this is also great for getting glue on your fingers. It's also great for a masculine card as well, or even, you know, I bet you there's even a way to make this look great for a card for kids. But I just, you know, I think it has a lot of possibilities. And I just love the way that this is coming together. So it was an odd choice maybe to use this black piece and then doing the black layer for the background. But I really wanted to add this. It was, you know, it's part of that paper pad, and I wanted to use kind of a variety. And I got a little bit of glue showing there, but I'll go after that with my glue eraser when I'm all done. And actually, I still think the black looks good up against the black, so it's really not that bad. But I don't know, I fell in love with this die set the second that I saw it. You know, usually they have like all these different weird patterns, you know, when you get these kind of dies. I mean, I have some, you know, they're kind of geometric, which I mean, it is. But there was just something about this one, and maybe it was this section right here that to me kind of looked like a house. But I don't know. I just fell in love with it and had to have it. And so I wanted to share it with you. So I hope you don't mind, because this really isn't a card making tutorial at all. This is literally check out this die set I got, and and these are some ways to use it. So I'll probably do a little decorating on this and maybe add a sentiment. And of course, if I do, you'll see that in the pictures at the end. So there, I'm trying to get the light off from it. That looks good. I think this is beautiful. I love how it turned out. I really do think that the silver on the black is really pretty. So I think I made a good choice. And I would love to know what you think below in the comments. Okay, I did do some decorating and thought I would come back and show you, because I'm just so pleased with how this came out. So I added a sentiment, and I popped that up with foam tape. And I added some pretty pink flowers over here, and those are Recollections flowers from Michaels. And then that adorable, cute little butterfly right there is actually from Prima Marketing as well. In fact, it is the coordinating butterflies to go with the rose quartz paper that I used and the rose quartz notepads. And so obviously they went perfect together. And I would put links below in the description box to where you can get what I used, but I can't find it anywhere. I've looked at scrapbook.com and Amazon. I will have links below to the paper in the 12 by 12 paper pads and the A4 paper pads, because I did find those on Amazon. But I'm using stuff, you know, from my stash that's been around for a long time, so it's not new. And I bet you have some beautiful papers that you can use that you already have sitting in your craft room. So there we go. Thank you all so much for stopping by and letting me share my cards with you. As always, I hope they inspire you and give you some ideas of your own. And if by chance you like that InLoveArts split background cutting die as much as I do, I'll have a link below in the description box to that, as well as a 25% off discount code to InLoveArts. And I will also have a couple links to that Prima Marketing Rose Quartz paper on Amazon. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.